That's what I was saying earlier about it's still in our DNA in many ways. Um, Had an interesting story happen. I think it's about a year ago that they were protesting in front of the Unity Art Studio on 24th Street because of something that was put in the exhibit. We had run the story on the radio station. People were calling in, what's going on? What's going on? I said, I'm going to go out there and find out what happened. I got out there. It must have been 50 people in front of the place. There was one lady there, black lady, darker than I am, who was kind of holding court and screaming at a bunch of people about it. And I tapped her on the shoulder and I said, can I chime in here? And she turned around and looked at me and she goes, are you black? And I go, yeah, I'm darker than you. And she goes, well, what's with the hair? And there were people standing around me who knew who I was from TV, and they're going, he's Michael Scott, he's black. But that's what you got to deal with your own people.
Yeah.
And my co-host at that time teased me for weeks. Whenever I had made a statement, she goes, yeah, but are you black enough?
Yeah. Because hair is a racial identifier. Second only to skin color, as they say. So, and again, all of that from the plantation. So if you look at racial mixing is just common, mixing of different cultural groups, ethnic groups, people mix globally. You just mix with different people, but here in the US, where race is our religion, we want to put all people in a box. And what box do you check? And so with your skin color, Michael, is one thing. Then your hair texture, we're not sure. And then, but once you begin to speak, okay, his accent, he doesn't have a foreign accent. He must be from here. But that hair, we can't be sure. And so that's just a way to discriminate. And the same thing with dark skin. Right? Very, very dark skin or very kinky or coily hair or what have you, that's a whole nother way to, I think about a lot of female dance groups at HBCUs and things, and I kind of critique this one thing. Can you wear natural hair and still be on that dance team? Can you be a member of, this team at Grambling or Howard or any of these HBCUs if you don't put your hair in a swinging ponytail, and if you don't wear a weave, if you don't straighten your hair? And I don't know that the answer is yes.
Yeah, I've noticed the change in the demographics of those dance troupes as time goes on. I guess my family came up from Jamaica to New York. And in the 40s, my grandmother on my mother's side was, as we say, bright, light, and damn near white, straight hair. She was able to get a job in the A&P grocery store as a cashier. They actually put her up front, where all the other blacks, if they had any, were in the back unloading stuff. So she was able to bring the rest of the family one by one up to the States and help us out. So I guess that's part of the whole black thing too, huh?
And then, Michael, you got in a lot of doors, I'm sure, because of your hair. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
I know he's one of them.
Tim Clark's in my ear saying it's black privilege. Okay, go ahead. Eric, what do you got?
No, I was saying it's like they'll say, I know he's one of them, but he's not one of them. He's closer to us than he is to them, and it is unfortunate that the skin complexion does dictate, and it does pit folks against each other, because the lighter you are, you think about, wow, they'll let me in the club now. I'll become one of them, and I'll get my membership, and so you'll do whatever you can to obtain that membership. I talk to folks a lot of times, when we talk about other ethnic groups or that migrated over to the United States and had one time they were outcast as well. And if it wasn't for the census and the majority realizing that they were going to lose their position of the majority, and then accepting those other ethnic groups into the majority race, and then those people forgetting how the fact that they were treated before they got in, and then they turn around and be the most vicious allies to keep others from coming in. You know, so everybody's just trying to get their pass into the club.
Yeah, skin color has social value. There's a lot of research on what being attractive gets you. So however we define attractiveness, there was a study where people were looking at, so attractiveness is connected to competence. We think that attractive people are smarter and better at their job and things like that. Serial killer Ted Bundy was attractive. And one of Charles Manson's killers was attractive. And when he went to court, the judge was like, "You're such an attractive young man. I just can't believe you murdered these people." So skin color has social value. Lighter skin is worth more. And this is all related to race and white supremacy. And by the way, Isabel Wilkerson talks about this in her book Caste. There's only light over dark or white over black. There is not any sort of caste system where there's black superiority or brown superiority. It is always white and light superiority. So skin color has social value, and the lighter you are, the more you are worth. Literally, the more you are worth. And then hair texture goes with it. The straighter
we've got a good discussion going on here. In fact, I see that we've got people who've been following us on Facebook. So are we ready to bring Terry Crawford up? Terry, are you there? Unmute yourself there.
I am here. Good evening. How are you?
Terry, how are we doing on our discussion?
I think you guys are doing a great job. I am sorry, I am not going to show my face because I was not prepared to be a panelist. And you guys don't want to see me right now. We were talking about hair and hair texture. So mine is a little more coily than yours, Michael. So right now you'll see my picture, okay?
Yeah, and your picture looks gorgeous, okay?
Well, thank you so much.
What's the question?
No, my question is, there was a time, and there continues to be, I guess, where a wage attaches to your whiteness or gradients of what that looks like in the United States. So if you came through Ellis Island or some other voluntary path, that wage attached to your whiteness, and you were able to enter and become white. Since we are the only people that did not come here voluntarily, Dr. Robinson in particular and others, talk some about that wage that attached to you when we entered this country and how that continues to play out in all areas, including economic, educational, political today.
For those of you who cannot see Terry Crawford, she's a very attractive, dark-skinned sister.
And she's my colleague in Black Studies.
That's right.
Terrific.
Yes, she's my colleague in Black Studies. So coming through Ellis Island is one thing, and Irish were discriminated against, and Italians and other East Europeans coming through Ellis Island. What they were able to do is become white, so they could give up their ethnicity. They could give up their Eastern European, whatever it is, and blend in because they were white. Black people were never able to do that. So Sudanese might come through Ellis Island today. I guarantee you Sudanese are not able to blend in because skin color is the issue. Race is the issue. And so whether Black people came through Ellis Island or landed on a plane on West Coast or a boat, East Coast, or came up through the Gulf of Mexico or wherever, is always going to go back to race, because that is how white supremacy works. No one would care where you came, what people care about is how you look.